Haven't said this in a minute, but this one's not a comedy.
Oh, no.
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 Hi, Jillian Benzavalli.
Hello, Patrick Hines.
Oh, my God. Fam, join the Facebook group. Join the Disky.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to connect with us outside of just listening to our episodes.
We're having a lot of fun on Discord.
Tell me everything. I've been in exactly one time.
One time, it's fun. If you're into it, great. We have a bunch of channels for a bunch of stuff. So it's like, I don't know, we're just having a good time over there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll plug the Facebook group. It's really fun over there, too.
It's also very fun over there, too.
Yeah.
We're doing New Boot Goofin' in the group now that
What
I told
is
you about
that?
last night. It's the Reno 911 reference. New Boot Goofin'. So now, like, the New Boot Goofin' people are coming out.
Oh, my God. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome, New Boot Goofin' people.
Yeah.
Girl, what are we talking about today? I'm drinking a seltzer water. I'm very excited.
Oh, great. Are you going to get the burps, do you think?
I might, but I'll be cool about
Okay,
it.
cool.
Aaron
Look,
will
I
cut
love
away.
seltzer. What is that, orange seltzer? Like, yes. On a 90-degree day in New York City.
I know.
Flawless.
I know.
So welcome to our bonus episode of this month or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. It's our
Welcome to your first day
Welcome to
recording.
my first day on Earth.
Yeah, welcome.
first day on Earth. Shitty, but, we'll do it.
It was better a little while ago.
So this is our 10th bonus episode. This is a new series that we're, debuting, for lack of a better term. The series is called I'm Related to a Killer. A lot of people requested this series specifically because the stories are being told from the relatives of the person who did this horrifying thing. So it's a point of view that we don't really get that often.
That's true.
So the listeners want to hear about it. So we're doing the first episode of the series.
Yeah, it covers the case of the killer Jesse Winnick.
Did he say how he did it?
I'm hoping to God he was lying.
Any murder is a horrible tragedy, but to murder your own mother, I think reflects a particularly callous and depraved individual.
He took pleasure in seeing pain in other people, even his own mom and his sister.
Jesse Winnick's a bad man. He's deeply disturbed. There is nothing that the state of California can do, whether in prison or on the street.
His actions have never-endingly affected my life. The parole process, the threat, the fear.
I think that Jesse is an evil, evil person.
To see my mom lying in a pool of blood in her favorite room in the house, killed by my brother, shook me to my core. I realized he was not my brother. He was a monster.
We open in Los Angeles. We meet Deputy District Attorney Matt Allen, and he was saying, this is told a little bit out of order. The first story we get is Matt, the DA, talking about the first time he heard about Jesse. Jesse was already in prison, having been convicted of the murder that we're about to tell you about. But, in prison, he is still a fucking monster.
Yeah, I didn't really love how this started because I have in my notes, I was like, hi, the victim's name is Hadas Winnick, and it takes them way too long to say it, so we're going to say it at the top.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of those things where it's like, we'll get back to this at the end. We'll get back to the beginning at the end.
It basically just opens with this monster in prison stabbing a corrections officer and trying to kill him.
So after this murder, he's still incredibly dangerous and violent.
Yeah, and we're going to learn, this kid is an unbelievably sick person.
Yeah.
This is really a tough one, I guess we should say. This is probably not one for the kids.
Oh,
so if you're listening in the car, maybe switch over to The Daily or something.
Oh, I don't know about that
No,
either.
you know what? The Daily's worse.
No.
Oh, God.
So we meet Jane Doe. She's a crime reporter. She's in shadow.
I was a journalist for several years, and I covered crime as one of my beats. With someone as volatile and unpredictable and cold-blooded as he seems to be, I would rather just not have that connection, with my name or with my face.
She doesn't want him to know what she looks like.
Yeah.
Presumably, he'll know her name. I'm assuming she has a byline in whatever she's been reporting in or whatever.
Maybe.
But does not want him to know what that's how fucking, we've only seen this a handful of times.
Yes. Yeah. So Amy is here, and Amy is the killer's sister, and the killer murdered their mother, and she just explains, it, of course, haunts her every single day, and she is here to walk us through this horrifying story of what happened, but also all of the awful things that led up to it, because she's here also to tell us about her childhood.
Yeah, so Amy is describing the night of the murder, and she says she was 22 when her brother killed her mother. She'd just finished her shift at work. Her brother, Jesse, was 25. We're going to learn later, at work that night, she had gotten a bunch of calls from her mom and from her brother. Her mom and her brother, the brother was always awful to the mother, and the mother was always looking for Amy to be around as sort of like a second and like a protector.
And Amy's 22 years old now, but we'll learn even as a child she had to play this role, which is not healthy or fair to Amy at all.
Absolutely not. And so she's in the car, and she, having gotten all these calls from her family, she calls home and she gets her brother, and the brother just says in a deadpan voice, "I just killed mom."
Like, and don't go home.
And don't
come home. So she's like, what?
But the thing is about this is that she doesn't know if this is real or not, because we're going to learn he's been threatening to kill the mom for years and years. And she calls 911, and we hear the 911 call, and she's at once frantic and apologizing in case this isn't real.
Yeah, so she's still on her way home. And
you never have to apologize to 911. Just call them.
Like,
they want to help.
In Amy's position, please. Like, her gut is telling her this is real, call the police. But she, like, through tears, she's like, if this is not real, I'm sorry, but I think it is. So can you please help?
Yes.
So we learn about Hadas and Sherman Winnick. They were childhood sweethearts. Amy says that her mom was, quote, every bit an Aquarius.
I gotta say, it takes a little too long to say that the dad's a total piece of fucking shit.
Yeah.
This dad is a fucking absent motherfucker. I hate this guy.
Oh my God.
I really am upset about this because I want to talk about Hadas, of course, but like the dad's gonna vanish from the picture, abandoning the mother and the daughter with this monster, and takes no responsibility for this kid who does these horrendous things.
Yeah.
I hate this guy.
Yeah. Here I thought you were gonna be like, what does it mean to be an Aquarius? And I was gonna be like, well, it's an air sign, very intellectual, creative, innovative, independent.
What'd she say? Like, she said this really cute thing where she said,
She was a creative kid. She was full of life, and she remembers kind of just running free as a kiddo, collecting frogs in her pockets and having a sweet childhood.
she collected frogs in her pockets.
I thought that was so cute.
I didn't know if that was a metaphor, if that was real.
No, I think she was just like a little
friends.
girl who liked hanging out with frogs. I love that.
Oh, that's so great. Frogs are great.
I love frogs.
My mother loves frogs.
I have a really cool experience that happened, which is
Did a frog talk to you?
Sort of.
Was it a prince that got turned into a frog?
It's exactly what happened.
What?
No, but I was in a pool and there was a frog in the water in the pool and just hanging out. And I put my hand under and the frog was in my hand, but I felt the frog jump off my head and the legs were so strong.
You were like a little lily pad.
I was my hand was the lily pad and it jumped, but I felt the strength of the jump. I talked about it for months.
In France, they eat the shit out of those legs.
Fuck that. But I was like, oh shit. What a weird, cool experience to
and
have.
the thing that's weird about frogs too is that the really pretty ones are poisonous. Isn't that wild? There's poisonous frogs out there. They don't mean to be, I'm sure. It's not. They don't want to be. Yeah, they were born that way.
You can't help it.
Exactly. Girl, Helix is back. Look, I say this all the time. I work with this organization. I give them my apartment for the weekend. And the one thing everybody comes out talking about is how comfy my mattress is.
Yeah, I used to be a really bad sleeper. I was tossing and turning all the time. And so Helix, I have the Midnight Lux from Helix. I've had it for years. And there was absolutely a noticeable difference, almost immediately. I was like, oh, wow, this is what it feels like to be rested. Cool.
I remember when we got our Helix, I was like, this is what it's like to sleep all the way through the night. No, I remember I used to wake up because the mattress was lumpy or it would sort of cave in the middle, and Steve and I were on top of each other in our king size bed. Not with Helix, I'm sleeping all through the night, every night.
I love it. And it can help with depending on, you have to get the mattress that would work best for you, but it can help with snoring. It can help with back pain, sleeping through the night, like we were saying, or sleeping too hot, which was another issue of mine.
Bottom line, we love Helix. Everybody loves Helix. We even got a twin mattress for Daisy. She loves her Helix.
Cute.
I know. So fam, you got to get in on the Helix. Go to helixsleep.com/TCO for 27% off site-wide.
Yeah, this is all about their Labor Day sale. So that's helixsleep.com/TCO for 27% off site-wide. And make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know that we sent you. helixsleep.com/TCO. So the parents got married in January of 1981. Almost a year to the day later, the killer was born.
Yeah.
But Amy says something that was I was like, whoa.
By the time I was conceived, they were separated. So I never lived with my father. I never saw their marriage in person.
I never saw their marriage in person. I was like, wow, what a clear and interesting way to say that.
I have a friend who's like that, who doesn't remember, the parents got divorced when he was 2.
Yeah.
And doesn't remember, they don't remember the parents ever being together.
Yeah, it was just such a perfect way to say it because I was like, oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
By that small sentence.
And Amy was born December 4th, 1984, making her 3 years younger than her brother. And there's this amazing woman here. Her name is Angela Mutanda, and she's a family psychotherapist. And she says, when you're born into a family, that family is its own subculture.
Yeah, I was like, I never thought of it that way, but
I
yeah,
know.
that's exactly right.
You don't even need to be like, you and Mike are a subculture.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
and Fiona.
yeah, because you create your own universe within your family, right?
Totally.
For better or for worse. And I was really struck by that, just thinking
Yeah.
about my own family.
There's been like a trend on TikTok that's like, what is something that you thought was totally normal, and then you went to someone's house and they didn't do it, and you realized that your family was the only one who did it?
What was what's
Usually
yours?
the answers are horrible.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh
that
my
make
God,
me go
like
like,
what?
oh no. I don't know. Like the parents were exceptionally mean to their kids. It's like, oh, I didn't know you could eat after 9 o'clock, or things that make you go like, oh God. But
what would yours be? Like, for example, I didn't know that people had dads. So what's yours?
Sure. I didn't know that people didn't have dads. No. I throw it right back
Oh, that's
to you.
good. That's good.
Well, like anything with like sibling life was very foreign to me, I guess. So that, like why would you beat the hell out of this other person in the house? Like, why are you beating them up? That's so strange to me. That's not how we do things here.
Oh my God.
I would be an animal abuser if that was the case.
Oh God. Well, anyway, we learn that like the dad was just awful to the mom. He was an alcoholic from the age of 16. He cheated on Hadas all through the marriage. And Amy says,
I think my mom, from what I read in her diary, was in an abusive relationship with him, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. So that is a cycle that I would see eventually carry over into my brother and my mom's relationship.
and that's a cycle that she would see repeated in her brother and her mother's relationship.
And with Amy herself, because she says that she was the youngest person in the house, but she was kind of taking care of everybody.
And it's interesting because some of this is told through photos, which I think is effective. And there's this one photo right now that we're seeing where she said it's hard for her to find a photo of her and her brother where she looks happy and he's not controlling her in some way.
I was like, whoa.
I know, and that's such an astute. That's like somebody who's done the work in therapy, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And like, but you see this picture, and it's like she's looking at the camera, not really smiling, and he's holding her, but like squeezing her.
Yeah.
And she's like a baby.
She's uncomfortable.
She's like 9 months old or something, and she says like even in this photo he's manhandling me.
So it's 1989. Hadas is now a single mom.
Series wrap on the
totally
piece of
fair
shit
enough.
dads with their monster children who just abandon the family and like leave the people to fend for themselves. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, that sucks.
Yeah, sorry.
You're not gonna have.
Remember
I'm not
when
gonna
I said
argue
people didn't have dads, right?
but they settled down in Calabasas.
Calabasas is a very wealthy area that, although it is in Los Angeles County, it's nothing like LA, really. There is certainly very, very little violent crime. It's a lot of open space and big houses. The Kardashians live there.
Must we mention the fucking Kardashians?
It's
Does
so
anyone else?
funny.
Does anyone else live in Calabasas?
No, I
for
think
God's
it's
sake?
just that because Jane Doe, the journalist, is just saying everyone is like Calabasas is in LA, but it's nothing like LA.
Yeah, it's not really LA, and the Kardashians live here. Lots of celebrities live. I'm gonna Google.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Any other famous
who
person
lives in Calabasas?
Doesn't Paris live in Calabasas?
Maybe.
I'm guessing it from the bling ring because like they also broke into her house.
Right, because we got another 15 minutes about Calabasas in the bling ring.
Next time, and Calabasas is in the valley, which I thought they didn't like, but they do like Calabasas.
I can't keep track.
California, what's going on out there?
All I know is that I've made it very clear that I don't discuss the Kardashians, and yet
And here we
they're
are.
getting thrown in my face on a regular
I
basis.
didn't know that. You don't discuss the Kardashians?
No.
Ever.
I try not to.
Oh, because of Taylor.
I'd love I mean, even pre-Taylor, I was never like.
No, me either. I didn't know that I didn't know if it was off limits.
But it's
now
still
I
the
know.
connection. It's like, I don't want to talk about OJ. I don't want to talk about the Kardashians. They are connected.
Totally.
Like, I'm done.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay, great. But like, I really do need to make a sojourn to Calabasas just to see what it's all about.
I'm sure it's a bunch of houses and roads. Like,
people who live in Calabasas, is it more than that? Tell me. Is your Starbucks amazing?
I'm not saying this as shade, but like, it sounds like a neighborhood.
I know.
It sounds like you're going to be like, there's a car in the driveway and there's a house.
They do like go to pains to say there's like space. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's like
lots of open space, lots of big houses, very, very little violent crime,
But
we're told.
I'm glad that they get to live there. She's a teacher. I can't imagine she makes very much money, but they get to live in Calabasas. That's nice.
Yeah, because, we learned that Hadas was a high school teacher. Everyone loved her.
Yeah.
But the kids are going through a lot, like Amy and her brother. The divorce, the move, the abuse that's going on at home. There's just like a lot happening.
And this is where Amy starts to say, like, so she's 8 and he's 9. And this is where it's at this age that she remembers the abuse starting.
Yeah, like, so from like 8 or 9, he was an abusive bully, like an abusive bully, full stop. So she says she never felt safe or protected by her older brother.
Right. And Angela, the psychotherapist, is saying, like, that's what younger siblings want from their older siblings. And I was like, oh, sorry, Becca, sorry, Nick. You know what I mean? Like, siblings also just fight, but this is a whole different level of that.
Because she says
The only times I ever can remember my brother being kind or loving or warm or caring were times when he wanted something from me. I don't think he was ever nurturing or protective in nature without there being an ulterior motive.
it was transactional. It was because he wanted something from her.
Can I tell you the best example of an older sibling being nice to a younger sibling that I have seen is Daisy and her older sister.
Oh, that's cute.
Because they don't live together. You know, they were adopted by different families.
There's
but
space.
There's space. There's lots of space. And the older sister is like so sweet, and Daisy's like the annoying little sister and whatever. And I just want to say, like, the older sister, if you ever hear this, I love you. You're so wonderful.
So sweet.
And so patient. It's so nice.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
So the brother, the killer, was kicked out of school for his violent behavior. And this violent, abusive, bullying behavior was happening at school and at home. So now he's kicked out of school and now he's home all the time. And Amy can't catch a break, and neither can her mother.
And he's also 12. And like, this was where I started to really see the parallels between my brother and this. Like, my brother was that was when he started getting kicked out of school as well.
Okay. Yeah. Because Amy says that by 12 years old, he was, quote, explosively angry and violently abusive as a 12-year-old.
And that wasn't so much my brother's story, thank God. He wasn't like that at home. But like, this is listening to what Amy suffered through with that, because this is also, I wanted to say, my mom went through hell with my brother, and like, there's so much of like, I can see people who haven't lived through this. Now, I know our listeners are not like this. I know you are all very empathetic people, but like, I can see people being like, well, why don't you got to get rid of them? Or what can, like, there is such little help for families dealing with this.
Sure. That
There's
also
such
seems
little help.
To say we'll just get rid of him seems so callous.
I know, and I don't mean like anybody is thinking get rid of him, but there's got to be, like, the police should come. The police, and as he gets older and it gets worse, like, there's such little help for these families.
Yeah.
And having lived through it and like seeing my mom really did get my brother all the help that she could get him.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother got a lot of help and did okay for a while, but then ultimately fell off. But you know, I feel for Amy and her mom in this story, because there's no help for them. No one's coming to help them.
Right. And on top of that, there's the family dynamics, there's the cycle of abuse, there's that too, that everyone is sort of working towards. And they don't really know that they're going through that.
Yeah.
You know, the mom isn't saying like, well, here's that cycle of abuse again. Like, that's coming after the fact from Amy. So there are all of these interpersonal dynamics at play as well.
And speaking of the dynamics, we get another picture that Amy is showing us, and she calls this picture beautifully ironic. The mom is between Jesse and Amy.
You can see me hugging and loving on Mom, and Mom adoring and staring at Jesse, and Jesse having the smuggest look on his face ever, with no regard for anybody else in the photo.
And then he's looking directly at the camera with no regard for anybody else.
Right.
You know?
Right. And Amy says, like, when she said explosively angry and violently abusive for a 12-year-old, but like name calling, but it would be very mean and very personal and very pointed. Like he'd make fun of your looks, whatever you were insecure about.
Yep.
Very much that. And so he was also becoming destructive to the house. So he would like damage the walls or light fires in the bathtub and then blame all of this on Amy.
Starting the way that you can see them. And I wanted to point out here too that the Jane Doe, the journalist, says you could tell that Hadas, the mom, it was very hard for her to believe that her son was becoming this abusive.
I mean, of course.
Parents of kids going through this try so fucking hard.
Right.
They want to save their kids. They want to believe it's something that they did that they can fix.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
And it's so heartbreaking that these kids are oftentimes just broken.
Right.
Girl, cornbread hemp's CBD gummies are back. And number one, I love cornbread hemp as a company.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes.
The CBD gummies, I gotta tell you, they really are the perfect thing to take at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day when you want a little bit of focus, you want a little bit of relaxation. You just want to take the edge off. I live on them.
Yeah, so here's the thing. They use the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD.
Yes.
So like whether you're feeling stressed or just uncomfortable or you just want to sort of like relax a little bit.
And I gotta tell you that discomfort is a real thing. I'll take it after the gym if I'm feeling a little bit achy, and it really helps.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, sometimes these episodes, they really get me down. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
know.
So it's nice to kind of like sit on the couch and have one of these and just really sort of like get into my like Zen mode.
There you are, other GP.
Exactly. She's back.
She's back. Also, fam, all products are third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity.
So right now, TCO listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/TCO and use code TCO at checkout.
That's cornbreadhemp.com/TCO and use code TCO.
I'm excited. How many hours until I get to take one of these?
I love cornbread hemp. I love
so
them.
good.
Get
So
their
good.
seltzers too.
Oh, so good. So Hadas injures herself. She's at school. She's a teacher, right? So she tripped at school and really injured her ankle.
Following a string of unsuccessful operations, she used a wheelchair for several years.
The abuse at Jesse's hands did not lessen. In fact, it worsened. Jesse sensed a weakness, and that is when he became physically abusive to my mom.
And now Amy's brother jumps on this weakness.
Right.
And he becomes even more violent and abusive toward his mother.
Right. And like we're hearing scenes being described of the mom like standing up out of the wheelchair trying to practice walking. He's knocking her over.
It's horrifying. And so like Amy, again, as the youngest kid, is trying to like step up and take care of her mother, which again is not fair or healthy for Amy, but also she's feeling unsafe. Also, she wants to protect her mom. Also, that like there's a lot.
And we learned that like he's now of age and I got burpee. I'm so sorry,
told you.
everybody. I got
knew
burpee. I won't do it again.
At least you spit the gum out. I was worried that
Oh no! Can you? You would have.
I would have been like, you need to get rid of that gum.
Oh my God! I would never in a million years.
Sweetie, you're wasting your gum.
Oh my God! I interviewed this when I made my theater podcast. I interviewed this one Tony Award-winning actress who chewed bread the entire time.
Oh, I had a gum chewer on.
Oh my
very early on in the
stars.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Who had the bread? Oh, come on.
I know. Ate bread. We met at Amy's Bread and went back to her apartment, and she just ate the bread the entire time.
I never would have guessed that. So now the killer is 15 years old, and he is starting to sexually abuse Amy. And I'm going to say this as quickly as I can.
He blackmailed me into inserting objects inside of myself in front of him. To go through my first sexual experiences in front of my brother and to be objectified in that sense had lasting effect on me.
She says, my first sexual experiences were in front of my brother. It is absolutely horrifying.
And it has had lasting effects on her to this day.
Yeah, and it's another like fucked up way to control and manipulate and just abuse and bully. I mean, but the point is it's getting violent, and now she's hurting the people in the house.
It's really a house of horrors.
It is.
You know what I mean? It really.
And he's 15.
And he's 15.
And it's been happening since at least he's 8 years old.
Yeah.
At least.
Right. And like, we don't know of anything, a traumatic thing in his past. Like, it just seems like he was just born like this.
I wonder if something, not like this matters at all.
Yeah.
But I wonder what he was like when he was younger. Maybe the dad was like, I'm not putting up with this.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that was part
dad
of
that
it.
just abandoned the family, and we don't know.
I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't mean to.
And we don't know that the dad. We don't know, but like it just seems like the dad is not present at all.
Yeah, because it just seems like this is someone who really was born evil. So I just wonder.
And it's all. Of course, it's always the mother that sticks around and is the one that stays and handles the tragedy.
Right. So at 15, the killer, Amy describes it as like his mental health is suffering. So he's acting out on suicidal thoughts. He's acting out at school. He's having what they call episodes. And he's finally sent for treatment at a facility where he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder, OCD, Tourette syndrome, and ADHD.
Yeah.
And in therapy, either he was manipulative or he would just flat out refuse to cooperate, or he'd be abusive to the therapist. Like he was just not.
And the therapist just refused to see him.
Right. So now we have all of these diagnoses.
Right.
He's not being treated, and now he's home and now continuing the abuse because he was seemingly, what we're told, it sounds like he's sort of like unable to be treated.
I know I sound like a broken record. What do you do?
I don't know.
There are things that can be done, but you have to know the paperwork. You got to be diligent.
Right.
You have to, it is so much work to get help for these kids. And then Does it take? Do they run away? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
And I don't mean to forgive the comparison, I guess, and
Yeah.
I don't mean it this way, but once I say it, maybe you'll get how I mean it.
Yeah.
Sometimes those facilities are not helpful
Oh,
or
yeah.
not safe.
Oh, 100%.
Or it feels a little bit like how prison, you're like, we're supposed to be rehabilitating these people,
Exactly.
right? Like,
Yep.
does it, because sometimes if you don't do your work, like I know my parents went through this when they were finding like a residential facility for my grandmother.
Yeah.
They went through a lot because sometimes you walk into these places and you're like, I can't leave my person here.
Yeah. Navigating that system is its own more than
Of
full-time
course.
job, and finding ways to get it paid for, and then
Yeah.
it is, when you are dealing with a person like this, it is so, there's just nobody knows what to do.
No one knows what to do. And sometimes, like what I was saying before, like sometimes these facilities, there are wonderful ones,
Yeah.
but sometimes there are places where it just sort of becomes like a place to put them
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
help and
Yeah.
treat. Because
100%.
it's so clear to me as we continue on that we as a society are not equipped to handle people who are born evil.
Right, yes.
It becomes clearer every week, and
Yeah.
it's becoming clearer in this episode specifically because at one point the killer says to Amy, just let me kill our mother and run off to Mexico.
Yep.
Like it's
Yep.
all he wants to do,
Yep.
and now he's saying it.
And it's like, when you think about the way the mother was treating him, she's just taking care of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not living in the same reality. Whatever is
no, no,
making
no,
him
no.
want to kill
That
her.
ship has sailed.
Exactly.
And so, like, again, in the we are not equipped folder, they say
My mom called the police many times. Their understanding of what to do with Jesse was very limited. They would arrest him, they would detain him for a few hours, maybe a night, and then they would return him back home. That would happen for years.
this went on for years.
you know-
then the solution, air quotes, is like, well, we'll just put him in the tank for overnight, I guess, and
let him
like
cool off.
call us on Monday.
Right.
Or whatever. And it's like, again, we're not equipped.
Exactly.
As a society. What do you do? If someone is literally saying, all I want to do is kill our mother and then I'll run off to Mexico and get away with it, like, can
Right.
you just let me do what I want to do?
And then Amy tells us this absolutely horrifying story about, she said she was 16 or 17, standing in the kitchen making a meal, and she feels this super violent kick from behind her between her legs. And she said she was in immense pain, doubles over. She asks him why he did it. And he says, I just wanted to see if it hurt girls to be kicked there. And then she says it was the most intense pain she ever felt in her life. And the thing that really stood out, she said, I remember feeling like I had been sexually assaulted, but not having the words for it at that time in my life.
Oh, sure.
And that, to me, I don't know. That's the moment where I'd be like, get out. Get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I'm just speaking emotionally off the cuff
Of course,
now,
it's very
you know?
easy,
Yeah.
safe in our little booth, you know.
But right, we talked about this off mic. Like, he's incredibly violent and dangerous, so you kick him out, that makes him more dangerous.
Right. And also, everyone's line is different. Like, someone could be listening
Yeah.
to this and hearing you come home and there's like knife marks all over the wall and being like, that's someone's line. Like, someone
Yeah,
else could be
totally.
listening to this and being like, girl, I would have said get out.
Yep.
So you never
Right.
know,
It's
right?
true. It's true.
So the killer turns 20, he joins the army. A few weeks later, he calls home saying that he is being abused and his mother gets him on the first flight home, and he came home even angrier.
Yeah, because he had always seen the military as his one thing he could do in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go, I'm a misfit in this world, I can go join the military and deal with it there. And he couldn't hack it, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and so like Amy is sitting here telling us like she doesn't think he was being abused. He obviously was the abuser or was about to get kicked out or whatever the story is.
And also, like, these people do not do well with authority. Like,
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
this
no, no.
all comes down to.
So it's April 2007. Amy is at a frat party trying for 5 minutes to live her life.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds out of the house, maybe having a beer, whatever she's doing, she's just trying to live her life.
Yeah.
She has like 15 missed calls from her mother. And it turns out that her brother had attacked her mother.
He creates a homemade flamethrower out of an aerosol can and a lighter. And he attempted to catch her on fire.
He tried to set their mother on fire.
He tried to make a homemade flamethrower.
And so then they call Amy to like come home and fix it.
Yeah. And then, like, Amy gets home and this just escalates. He goes upstairs, jumps off the second floor balcony onto the family car, which he destroys. Then he slashes the tires and runs off into the night. Where's the piece of shit dad?
I don't.
You know what I mean? You know what I
gone.
mean? Not dealing with
Long
this.
gone. No.
Absolutely not dealing with this.
Long gone.
You know?
That's the other thing. That's right. So like Amy can't say like, Dad,
Right.
can you come for 5 minutes? Could you help? Like,
Can anybody help?
it's not an option for her.
It is such a nightmare for this family.
It's
It is
so lonely.
so lonely. I mean, and when you're Hadas the mom, I wonder if you start wondering about the inevitability of what, there's only one way this can end.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, like she books him the flight home. She does, everything is like, well, maybe this will help. Maybe I'll help him. Maybe I'll fix him. Because for her.
Yeah.
That's,
for her, it's her fault.
Right. Or it's not
she
fair.
She can fix
right.
it.
Yeah. Or he said sorry. Or so often the bad guys here know how to manipulate this person. So I'm sure there's a lot of apologies or a lot of I promise,
and
I
there's
promise.
That one moment that you see that little boy that you loved. You see that little boy in that one glimpse, and maybe it's even authentic, and you think he's there. He's in there.
Oh, they know how to
get
play.
to him.
They know how to play like a fiddle.
Girl, Ritual is back. Look, we got to talk about it. We are not always not guilty of like eating our veggies, doing all the things that we need to be doing to filling in the gaps in our diet, right?
Yeah, we all have a lot going on.
Yes.
Sometimes it's really easy to be like, did I eat enough of the green on my plate or whatever? Like, we don't always have time to be focusing on that. So that's why Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin it's not necessarily salad in a pill. Like, I won't go that far. But it is formulated to help you fill key nutrient gaps that you might not be getting enough of from your diet.
Yeah, we're talking 9 key nutrients in 2 delayed release capsules designed for optimal absorption per day. That's the key.
Yeah, and so they're designed to be gentle on the stomach. They have this minty essence in every bottle that helps make taking your multis actually enjoyable. And that was actually a big factor for me. I know it makes me sound like I'm 6 years old, but it's like if I'm taking it every day, it just sort of helps go down easy. I'm not the best pill taker. I mean, now I am because I've been taking Ritual for 8 years, so I have plenty of practice.
Let me just say this. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus is also third-party tested for heavy metals and clean label project certified, and it's HSA and FSA eligible with a seamless checkout experience.
These multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO project certified, gluten and major allergen free, and made traceable.
Always, that's the thing, traceable and transparent. So fam, instead of striving for perfect health, because nobody's perfect, aim for supporting foundational health.
Get 25% off your first month only at ritual.com/TCO.
Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today.
That's ritual.com/TCO for 25% off.
Go do it. Minty fresh. You're going to love it.
I know. It's really helpful.
Girl, Function is back. This is the thing I've really been using. I chose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data that most people never see and the insights to actually take action. I love it.
Yeah, and that's why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy London are all behind Function Health.
Yes.
So there's a gene, MTHFR, and it helps your body process folate, which is a nutrient that's essential for making DNA.
Yeah.
And it can disrupt how your brain makes the neurotransmitters that keep you steady and clear-headed.
So this is all about mood, right? This MTHFR, it really affects fatigue and low energy, anxiety and depression, migraines and chronic pain. And we're telling you about this because the good news is you can measure it and do something about it.
Yeah, because inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers. So from heart and hormones to toxins and inflammation and all that stuff. And so this is one of the really important things that you can be testing.
Yeah, it's available as an add-on to see if you carry the MTHFR mutations. And if you do have any of the mutations, it doesn't mean you're broken. It just means that the right inputs like methylated B vitamins and folate-rich foods might help your brain work better. So this is what Function shows you. It shows you if you have mutations like this and what to do about it if you do. And this is just one of the over 100 markers you can look at. Fam, I use this and you should too.
Yeah, so learn more and join using our link. Visit www.functionhealth.com/TCO.
Do it, fam. I've done it. I love it. I love reading this dashboard. It gives me all the info and action steps. It's like a personal Steve Tipton.
Over 160 biomarkers? If I had to guess, I'd say there were 10? 160. My God. So finally, this guy's arrested, right? He's arrested and put in prison for assault.
He would call her probably about once a day when he was in jail. He would tell her he was sorry. He would tell her he would never do it again. To be a mother and to be hearing those promises from your child, she had to have unending hope for him.
And it's like exactly what she wants to hear. And I don't, you can't blame her.
No, and the psychotherapist breaks it down for us. She says, she calls it a trauma bond. She says, where you're intermittently rewarded with kindness and intermittently there's punishment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. A lot of people say now, I think it's one of those things, what is it? Not an idiom, but it's like, just like the beauty of language, where now trauma bonding has also been, people use it to say like, we've been through some shit together. We're trauma bonded because we've been through shit together, which is not like technically what it means. But when you say it like that, like, oh, I know what you mean by, oh, I'm trauma bonded to this person because like we were in the trenches during this horrible thing.
Yeah.
But this is like the real meaning.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Totally.
Like
totally.
on paper meaning. But what do they call that? Is it linguistics? I don't know. I can't think of the word. But it's language changes.
You said the beauty of language. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'll take it.
But we learn now. I was just saying this a second ago. Like, does Hadas, the mom, is she starting to see the inevitability? And she is.
Yeah.
Because we learn that she gets accidental death life insurance, and Amy says, "I never faced up to the reality the way that she did," and I thought that was interesting because I was getting from Amy that she understood how dangerous he was in the moment, and she didn't.
No.
And I think when you're living that close to it, you can't really see it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think age plays a part.
And you can never believe, could never believe that this person that you love would actually ever hurt you.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, my speculating wildly would be like, I wonder if Amy's mom was trying to protect her in some way, if like the focus became, to protect, I'm just
kill
like,
me if you have to kill somebody.
Or like hurt me or whatever. I mean, he was going to hurt, but he was hurting both of them. I know that, but I was just wondering if maybe that was a possibility also.
Probably.
I don't know.
But also Amy's mom just needed an ally. You know what I mean?
I mean, that too.
And it's unfair. It shouldn't have been Amy's job to be the ally. She's a kid,
Sure.
Sure.
So we're at September 25th, 2007, the night of the murder. Now we're back at the top again. And Amy's mother and brother are both calling her incessantly while she's at work. And, the tension is really growing, but no one's saying what's going on those messages. So she's like, what is, leave, I'm at work.
Yeah.
Like, what,
Yeah.
So now we're at the phone call from the top of the episode where Amy's brother calls her and admits that he has killed their mother. And he has killed their mother by stabbing her to death.
Now, this is what we didn't get at the top. Amy describes, because she gets home and she goes into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And this is really bad. So this is a trigger warning. Jump ahead 15 seconds if you want. And she sees her mother laying in a large pool of blood.
With what I initially saw at first was her hand outstretched and the phone just outside of her reach. And then I saw that the knife that Jesse had used to kill her was still in her neck.
The knife that Jesse had used to kill her was still in her neck.
Yeah. And Amy says, even before she walks into the house, that one phone call, her whole family's gone.
Well, and that really hit me in that moment, too.
Everything's
her
gone.
whole family is gone.
Right. As she knows it.
Yeah.
Because now we learn she has a beautiful, but in that moment she gets this phone call and it's like, it's over.
Yeah, and there's this moment where Amy's answering a question and the question from the producer was like, what did it feel like? Tell me the emotion. And she's like, I cannot describe the emotion of finding my mother.
Nobody can. Yeah,
I don't have the words for it.
Right. That's a shitty, if true, shitty question.
Yeah, totally. And she just says, my brain was on fire. And
right.
that feels right.
Yeah. And so after the murder, the killer takes a shower, changes clothes, stole his mother, who he just murdered in cold blood, steals her car, goes to meet up with a friend, tells the friend he needs to get the hell out of town, switches cars with the friend, really tries to get away with it. But the cops catch him a few hours later. He's just a few miles away from his house.
He took a shower with his mother dead on the kitchen floor. He took a shower.
Yeah, like you said, this isn't reality. We're not on the same plane here, and I think that happened really early on, and that's very scary when someone has been living in an alternate reality for such a long time. There's nothing to lose.
Right, and
here.
Amy says it took 3 or 4 hours for them to find him, and she said those were the scariest hours of my life.
Yep.
He's gonna come back and get me.
I don't know where she was.
Right.
I can't imagine she'd want to be in that house for many reasons.
Yeah.
So he's arrested and charged with the murder of Hadas Winnick. And, it was so violent, so senseless, because and we learn what happened according to him. The story he tells, which I believe this because based on everything we know about him, this makes sense, but not, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, but it was because he made a mess. He made lunch, made a mess.
My mom wanted to make food and had turned to him and said, put everything away. I'd like to use the counter. And he said, no. She continued and said, if you're gonna eat, you're gonna clean up too. And he responded by killing her.
Hey, could you clean that up? And now we're here.
Yeah, and he's been looking for a reason to kill her, and this was it.
It could have been anything. Really.
And, you know, DA Matt, and I do think about these people, the police officers who come to the scene and the EMTs who are there, and then the DAs who have to learn the DA. He's just describing, he's like, one of the things I've had to learn in my career is how very difficult it is to kill somebody with a knife. That it's very personal. You have to get very close.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even describe the mechanics of what the physical strength that it takes,
right?
You know,
right?
And he says it's extremely bloody and gory, you know, and like, and somebody says it later, but I'll say it now, like. This person has no conscience. I mean, it really just is that simple. He just has no conscience.
Right.
You know?
Yes. And so, you know, it takes over 4 years for the killer to be sentenced. And in that time, Amy's like, I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to be alone ever. She never felt safe. She'd never, okay, all right, so he's awaiting sentencing. But, you know, if he could do this, maybe he's going to come get her. I mean.
But we also learn why it took 4 years. And we've seen this before.
A million times, right out of the same playbook.
Right. And he's basically just doing anything he can to stall, to keep it. Because what he's hoping is that he thinks Amy has some power to get him some sort of lesser charge.
Or she would pull back, or she'd say, no, or she'd step up to say, just for the sake of having this be over, she'd pull strings as the sister. No, that's not going to happen.
No, but he's thinking that if he can stall long enough, he'll wait her out. So he's doing all of those things.
He would start taking medication for one of his mental illnesses and then abruptly go off the medication right before the trial was supposed to start. Then he could be deemed mentally unfit to stand trial, and the whole thing would be delayed again. He would fire his lawyers abruptly so that a new team had to start from square one.
Or he's firing his attorneys and making them all start from scratch.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
This person specifically in this case, why, and I'm really asking, so if you have an answer, let me know.
Yeah.
Why does he have a choice about taking his medication?
I mean, you know.
I know the answer.
Well, no, but my only answer to that is, I guess it's probably some law somewhere that we can't force people.
But we can't force people, which I understand.
Yeah.
I know the repercussions of that if that becomes a fucking law.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but it's just interesting that, like, in this moment, he still has the power to do that, to try to play that game, to say, oh, I'll take the medication.
Right.
And then he knows enough when to stop it, so he'll be mentally unfit to stand trial. Like, if he's playing that, then that shouldn't be part of the equation anymore.
It shouldn't be allowed. Like, that's
what I'm asking, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm not asking. Why
you can take your medication or not, but we're not going to let that affect. And
that was the better question. That's what I should have asked.
No. I think every judge is like, how do we not let this drag on in appeals court for 15 years? You know what I mean?
But it's like, well, he's dragging it on for 4.
Listen, you know I'm up for Jillian's Law anytime you're ready to make the show. You know what I mean?
I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of education to get through if we're going to be doing it.
I think that you, in your town, you run it from your gut.
Oh, great.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that I can do.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the show we want.
Oh, great.
Jillian's Law.
Oh, we're talking gut checks?
Yes!
Okay.
You have a very high moral compass.
I'm in. I'm starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Actually, I started quite some time ago.
Totally. I've been watching Jillian's Law for 8.5 years now.
Sometimes it's a good show.
Yeah, that Tuesday night lineup, it's on fire this week.
It's must-see TV.
It's must-see TV.
From back in the day.
Totally.
So meanwhile, though, Amy feels like she's on pause. These constant delays. She can't sleep. She's a total wreck. She just wants, and like, also what no one is talking about is like her grieving process.
Right.
Grieving about her mother, grieving for the relationship with her brother. Like all of these realizations that she's having on top of the fear.
Also, like, coming into the knowledge that she was sexually abused. Like,
of course.
There's a lot. Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
And at this time, she's sort of in limbo of like, when are we going to get the one thing that maybe could be a big step forward?
Yes.
Is just delay.
Right. And like, she says she would visit him in prison and try to get him to plead guilty. And he's like, you need to forgive me. Mom visits me in my dreams and she forgives me.
And Amy's like, well, I don't forgive you.
Well, I don't forgive you.
Also, you're lying. Also, shut up.
Exactly.
Like, I should know she did. And even if she did.
Remember Lori Fallow saying that, like, the wife of the husband that she killed visits her in prison?
Yeah, like, give me a break.
I mean, oh my God.
She's another one we don't speak of anymore. Done.
Sherry Papini, the name that shall not be uttered in this studio.
You know what? There's always one to replace them.
I know.
Or I'm going to be like, that one. We can't talk about that one either.
No.
Ted Bundy, again, we're done. We're not doing it.
Absolutely. Girl, Miracle Made sheets are back. Those are the self-cooling sheets that we are totally obsessed with, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, here's the thing. For me, like one of the things that would keep me up at night is my temperature wasn't regulated.
I know. That's the worst. That's the worst way to sleep.
Either you're too chilly or you're too hot. I like being cozy, so like I'm using the covers, everybody. I'm not going to sacrifice that.
No.
With Miracle Made, I don't have to.
But they are also self-cleaning, fam. So these sheets are infused with a silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No gross odors. I'm telling you, the gross sheet odors is like a real thing.
Yeah, and it's good for your skin. Like, I'm sorry, stop sleeping on bacteria.
Truly.
Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts, causing acne. You're sleeping clean with Miracle.
Now, the thing about them being cool, they are using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA.
Yeah.
NASA.
Yeah.
These are the space people.
That's science, everybody.
Exactly.
And it also makes you feel like you're sleeping at a hotel, which is my favorite thing. They are so luxurious.
So fam, upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/TCO to try Miracle Made sheets today.
And whether you're buying them for yourself or, hey, as a gift for a loved one.
Love it.
If you order today, you can save over 40%.
And if you use our promo code TCO at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%.
Miracle is so confident in their product. It's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund.
So fam, upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/TCO and use code TCO to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off.
Again, that's trymiracle.com/TCO to treat yourself.
Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you. And my amazing sleep.
Truly.
So the killer pleads no contest to the charge of second-degree murder of Hadas Winnick, and he gets 15 years to life. But we're not done. It does not stop there.
We are not done.
Instead of engaging in rehabilitative programming and bettering himself, he continued his rampage of violence by assaulting officers, threatening staff, fighting other inmates, and generally continuing a life of crime.
He's attacking everybody. So at the top of the ep, lawyer Matthew told us about how he heard about the killer, right?
Yes.
Like, now we see this prison body cam footage of what happened.
We see the prison body cam footage of this piece of shit shanking a corrections officer.
Right. So he he made 2 shanks, brought them into the yard.
Thank you for calling it a shank, because they want us to call it an inmate manufactured weapon.
Oh, it's a shank.
They don't want to call it by the street name.
Did nobody call it a shank?
He goes, well, the first time he calls it an inmate manufactured street weapon, and then when we get back to it now, he's like, he had 2 inmate manufactured street weapons, also known as shanks.
Oh,
I was like, thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew. Please.
But it's crazy to see because he attacked the guy wearing the body camera.
Well, and the thing about it was, remember, now, once again, this is gruesome, so skip ahead if you want, but he stabbed his mother in the neck, and that's how he killed her.
Yeah.
And they say that's what he was trying to do to this corrections officer.
Yeah, I know it's a controversial word, but he just looks fucking crazy.
Yes.
He's running around, this person is not here.
And the corrections officer spraying him with pepper spray, it's mayhem. It's malice at the palace.
But this guy's evil.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? To be born, it's just when you see someone physically in action like that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And Amy was living with this person.
I know.
Her mother was living with this person. And when you see him in action like that, because we never see that, right?
It's true.
We're just being told.
We're in the age of body cam now, baby.
Right?
You know what I mean?
And so to see that, you're just like, oh my God, Amy. Oh my God,
I know.
Hadas. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's really scary. And the only thing that's scarier than that is that after only 9 years, he gets his first parole hearing.
So, right.
Fucking Amy didn't know. She gets notified the week before.
She's terrified. She goes, the rug was pulled out from under me. She starts mentally preparing.
9 years.
9.5, but still, it's not, I don't mean to split hairs. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's horrible.
So Amy, it's all online. So Amy attends the hearing online, and she tells us.
He said, I entered prison as a bad man, and I've only gotten worse. I've stabbed over 90 people since getting here.
And he's trying to say, you gotta let me out because it's making me worse?
Yeah.
It's a weird argument, bro.
Is it? And I hate that because it's it's not working. He should be getting some kind of treatment. Where is he going to get the treatment? Yeah. Or at least be in a place.
Put him somewhere where he is locked away from human beings.
Where other people are safe. Yeah. And it's okay, so now we're not, I don't know what these 90 people did, but now he's endangering others. What are we doing here? I'm sure.
1 or 2 of them deserved it.
I was going to say, but how many of those people shouldn't have been in prison at all?
Exactly.
How many people are awaiting trial? How many, what the fuck are we doing doing with the prison system.
And-
it sucks. Burn it down.
Well, I agree, which is why I want to say I don't care where you put him. Just put him somewhere where he can't be. Like, put him in some hospital where he's locked in a room somewhere.
And it's so obvious to me that, like, our system is so beyond broken because it's not about rehabilitation. If they're just, like, allowing this to happen,
right.
90 people?
And it's also, he's the kind of person who couldn't be helped, I think.
Well,
I think that he's a rare example of a person who cannot be helped.
100%.
You know?
But you can at least just be aware. Like, who do you think you're dealing with?
Yeah. I want this person somewhere where he can suffer alone in silence and never be touched again and never experience joy or sunshine. But, like, just get, like, it doesn't have to be, I don't care where it is. Just get him out of here.
Well, I think what we're saying in, like, 15 different zigzaggy ways is that, like, the system is broken.
Yes.
And that's just how it is because Amy, at this hearing, we're not even done with the parole hearing online.
Yeah.
Amy is at the hearing. Everyone is, like, on Zoom or whatever. And in front of the parole board, Amy's brother starts threatening her. I had to go back and I'm like, in front of everybody?
I said, you have already done the worst thing possible. You've killed our mom. At which point he then recited a recent address of mine and said he could have friends visit me and take care of me and my children.
And I could have friends show up and take care of you and your children.
During the parole hearing. Now I'm thinking, oh, slam dunk, this guy just got another 10 years,
Exactly, right.
So the parole board is like, Amy, could you turn off your camera, please? She does.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, her brother is doing the throat slice motion to her, which again is not just a threatening motion, triple threatening for Amy because of how her mother was murdered by this piece of shit. So even though her camera's off, he's looking into the camera while the parole board is discussing the first threat. He's continuing to threaten her. I swear to God, if this guy gets paroled, I will lose my mind.
Right.
So, but like, and I know that sounds impossible. Crazier things have happened. I have zero trust in the system.
But no, I mean, the thing about it, too, is that when this is all over, obviously he's denied parole, but Amy writes to the prison and wants him charged for the death threat against her, and they refuse.
Because this occurred at a parole hearing, which you would think, like, that's an official thing, right? Several witnesses. It is probably recorded on Zoom. Like, you're thinking, she didn't elaborate, she didn't embellish, she didn't make it up. Like, this is real, right? Amy is told no, they cannot charge him for the death threat because, quote, it's not a big enough threat. Sorry. And I'm like, there's the system we know.
I mean,
Barf.
oh my God, horrible.
And guess what? Amy ends up getting a phone call from a detective who wants to talk to her. And he goes over to Amy's house and he says to her, did you have anything to do with your mother's murder? And she's like, whoa,
can you
really not the way I thought this conversation was going to go.
Yeah, no.
I thought you were here about the 4 death threats I just received in front of the parole board on Zoom that was recorded. No?
The piece of shit killer had written a letter to another inmate. I thought they weren't allowed to do that, by the way. I thought inmates weren't allowed to write to other inmates.
There's a lot of shit they're not allowed to do that they do anyway.
I guess that's true. And so he says in this letter that Amy planned the whole thing and promised him all of this, what she calls non-existent money to carry it out.
And that in this letter, the killer says to the other inmate that Amy needs to be, quote, taught a lesson because she's not holding up her end of the bargain, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're not seriously entertaining this, right? Like, the killer's blackmailing Amy, like, for no, like, what?
But what's great about this is that the inmate was supposed to go to Amy and be like, hey, you need to hire your brother or lawyer and give him money or he's going to kill you or I'm going to kill you. He doesn't do that. He goes to the DA and it's DA Matt, the guy from the beginning, who he's like, tell me again about what he did during that fucking
He rats out Amy's brother in 2 seconds flat.
Yes, and he gets him charged. So whereas the parole board was not willing to, like, file charges if they can or whatever, DA Matt charges this piece of shit.
Because DA Matt's like, wait a second. Like, we know Amy's telling the truth, but he's like, let me see what happened at the parole hearing. Like, let me watch the video. Like, maybe I'll see. And when he watches it, he's like,
I was shocked, deeply shocked, that could happen at a parole hearing and that there would be no consequences as of yet. I charged him with several different crimes, including attempted murder of a public official, and 2 counts of possessing a weapon in prison.
DA Matt charges this piece of shit. He gets another 36 years. The DA Matt says that Jesse's sentence basically started over again, which meant that, like, he had only gotten 36 years or whatever for killing his mother.
15 to life.
He was gonna, like, get out at some point. And now he never will. Matt's like, basically, he's either gonna be too old to do anything when he gets out or he'll die in prison.
Well, in court, though, Amy makes a statement and she talks about her experience living with this person.
For the first time. It's her first time to publicly talk about what that was like.
Yeah, like the abuse, the violence, the assault, and she talks about what it was like to lose loses her mother in such a brutal way at the hands of her abusive brother. And she talks about living in fear essentially her entire life.
Yeah.
And how she's not even safe from him when he's in prison. Like, nobody is safe from this guy. Clearly, even other inmates, either other officers, like, we're living it, everyone, you know? Like,
if he wants her dead, he can probably make that happen.
And it's undeniable, right? That, like, he's a danger to everyone around him.
Right, because it's like, what's she going to go live in hiding?
Right.
You know?
And so, like, and as she's saying this and speaking her truth publicly for the first time, her brother is talking over her the entire time. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Put a fucking muzzle on this guy.
I know.
Why is he allowed to do that?
And you see that a lot. They let these inmates do these
them up.
I know. I know.
This woman is talking about what he did. Let her speak.
If they can put Hannibal Lecter on a dolly with one of those masks over his face, you know what I mean?
And he makes that creepy noise that I can't make. I can't do it.
Oh my God, it's so gross. So anyway, in the end, they ask Amy if she wants a restraining order, and she's like, why? What'll it do? Like, if he wants to kill me, he's going to kill me. And they're like, no, girl.
They're like, heard, but hear us out.
Restraining orders are amazing. It immediately criminalizes any time he ever reaches. It just adds more time to his sentence.
Right. Or if he or if someone else reaches out to you on his behalf.
Yeah.
So they're saying to her, it could possibly be a deterrent for him to reach out to anyone to speak to you. So she's like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
So everyone says the killer's in prison for the rest of his life, like you were saying. If he survives prison, which is a very big if, he'll be in his 70s when he gets out. But Amy has 2 kids. She's doing her goddamn best. She's here telling us the story. And she's like, I don't hate him. I'm angry.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forgive him. She's angry at her brother. She's angry at the system. Amy, come sit next to me.
And she doesn't want to live with hate in her heart. I totally understand that.
And she says, she was like, I just want to change the way systems receive victims.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, all the systems, right? Like, because she and her mother were victims of him while her mother was alive. And like you're saying, like, what system is in place to help them?
Having been in a family like this, there is very little help for you.
Yeah. And, you know, it ends with Amy.
I love my mother. I loved getting to know her. And I almost miss the things I didn't have. That I miss seeing Mom as a grandma. I miss hearing her voice. I haven't heard it for 17 years. What a joyous person she was.
She misses her mother and she wishes that her mother could have been a grandmother.
Yeah.
And, you know, but like, she is making this her life's work to like fix the system to the best of her ability, at least in the way it, quote, receives victims.
Yes.
So fuck yeah, Amy.
Fuck yeah, Amy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, girl, we did, what's it called?
I'm going to rename it. It's called The Murder of Hadas Winnick, as told by her daughter, Amy.
Thank you so much. I love the name of that.
No problem.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Fam, join the Facebook group, join the Disky, come join us on Patreon. Over 450 full ad-free bonus episodes to download and binge.
Yeah, and in case you want to watch this, it's called I'm Related to a Killer.
Yes, and it's good. I liked it.
Yeah. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
With our new bonus episodes. We're like kind of just getting started with these. This is only number 10.
It's
like,
wild.
We got plenty
So many more episodes coming out. The back half of this year, you're going to hear from us a lot.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff coming your way.
Yeah. All right, we love you, fam.
All right, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.